Hi everyone, so in this video we're going to go ahead and spend some more time thinking about ionic bonds. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so what is an ionic bond? An ionic bond is a bond between a cation, which is a positively charged ion. Remember, they have lost electrons, so losing negativity makes them positive, and an anion, which is a negatively charged ion. And it usually involves both a metal and a nonmetal. And in ionic bonds, electrons are transferred so that everyone receives an octet, or a full outer shell of electrons. With ionic compounds, we describe them using something called formula units. And this is the lowest whole number ratio, meaning we have to have whole numbers, so no fractions, no decimals. So the lowest whole number ratio of ions represented in an ionic compound. And we'll spend some more time talking about that later on this unit. Okay, so for some properties or characteristics of ionic bonds, they form something called 3D crystal lattices. So 3D meaning it goes left and right, up and down, forward and back, so all dimensions. And it's going to continue repeating the cation and then the anion, the cation, and then the anion, going all those directions as far as you can see. And the formula units, which make up that crystal lattice, are held together by really strong forces. Having those opposite charges, those positive and negatives, pulling them together gives us really high melting and boiling points. So because of this, ionic compounds tend to be solids at room temperature. So if you think of kind of the classic example, table salt, sodium chloride, is an ionic compound. It's a solid at room temperature and has a really high melting and boiling point. Ionic compounds are also hard, but they're brittle. So if we would hit them with a hammer, we have to shift part of the crystal lattice. This causes the ions to be by the same charge, so positive by positive, which they don't like. So they're going to repel, which causes them to be very brittle and break into little fragments. And then continuing on, ionic bonds do not conduct electricity as solids. So if we have solid table salt, it will not conduct electricity because the ions cannot move in the solid state. And that's what we need to conduct electricity, is that flowing of charges, flowing of electrons. However, if we go ahead and heat ionic compounds up to very high temperatures, so a couple hundred to 1,000 degrees Celsius, they will conduct electricity as molten liquids. That's because ions can move when they're in a liquid state. Also, if we take that solid ionic compound and dissolve it into water, they form electrolytes, which you probably know of from like Gatorade or Powerade, those sports drinks. We have electrolytes that help to increase our energy as we sweat. Well, they're also really good at transmitting electricity. So when ionic compounds dissolve in water, they break into their cations and their anions. Because we have those moving around in liquid, they can move. So they're really good at conducting electricity as dissolved compounds in water. Okay, so thanks for watching, everyone. If you have any questions, please go ahead and let me know. Otherwise, have a great day, and we'll talk more later. Bye.